Let's just... Okay. Hold on, just...
This is the moment police found the head of a 24-year-old man stuffed inside a bucket in his mom's basement.
I guess where in the basement was that located?
As you go down the stairs, if you turn to the immediate right, it was at the bottom of the stairs to the right.
Was it in pretty close proximity to the stairs?
Yes.
After you made that observation, what did you do?
After I pulled the towel off?
Yes.
I had Officer Plunky come downstairs and just verify we had in fact found a human head in the bucket.
The victim's name was Shad Thyrion, and his case would turn out to be the most graphic and bizarre murder case that the police had ever witnessed. His girlfriend, Taylor Schabusiness, confessed to killing him while they were engaged in intimate activities. But what she did after will leave you completely horrified.
How did you discover his body?
Nice.
With what?
Knives.
Knives? Was it more than one knife? Not more. Where did you get those from?
Kitchen.
So what really happened? Why didn't Taylor stop, and when did she notice her lover was dying? What did she do to his body after he died? Let's look at this shocking case of the deranged woman who beheaded her lover and then put his head in a bucket.
Are you positive my son's head is in a bucket? I know bucket in my basement.
What makes you think that?
Because I looked in the bucket.
What did you see?
Exactly what I told you.
Okay, where's the rest of the body at?
No idea.
On February 23rd, 2022, at around 3:20 a.m., a woman named Tara Pakinich called the police to report that she had found a severed head in a bucket in the basement of their home in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Officers were immediately dispatched to the scene, and they found the distressed woman and her boyfriend waiting for them. The boyfriend said that he couldn't really tell whether what he saw was an actual human head or an animal. So one of the officers went down to the basement to check for himself.
Okay. Did you both see this?
I opened the towel, I picked up the towel and dropped it because I don't know what the fuck it is, man. I had bad vision. And she's like, is that what I think? I don't fucking know. What the fuck is it?
Do you want to stay with those two? I'll just go see it.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Right there. Look right, there's a bucket with a towel on it.
When the officer reached the bottom of the basement stairs, he saw a plastic bucket on the floor covered with a towel. And when he lifted up the towel, what he saw made him step back in horror. Indeed, there was a human head inside.
I know you're busy over there, but this is actually what it's going to be. It's not going to be a 961 thing or a 96 thing, so we're going to need more units here.
As the officer waited for backup, he checked around and he found red bodily fluid on the floor and mattress and what appeared to be chunks of flesh on the floor.
If we could get more units here sooner rather than later, that'd be appreciated. We've got quite a bit of blood down here. I want to clear this rest of this house. We've got 2 people in the house for sure.
After you observed the bucket, it appeared that you walked around the basement area of the residence, is that right?
Yes, it did.
At that point, did you see any other parts of a human body?
No other parts of a human body, no.
Did you notice any areas of potential blood?
Yes.
And where was that?
Beyond the stack of mattresses, there appeared to be blood on the floor and then small chunks of human flesh.
In other areas of that basement, did you locate any obvious signs of blood?
There was a dried blood stain on the mattresses, and that was all that I remember seeing.
Crime scene investigators arrived to process the scene, and they were shocked at the graphic nature of the crime. In the same bucket with the head, they found male organs, along with body fluid and 2 knives.
What other items were in the bucket? There was remains, 2 different specific types of remains that I observed.
What kind?
There was a human head. There was genitalia in the bucket.
Let me stop you there. What do you mean genitalia?
What I would recognize as testicles.
Other body parts would be found stuffed inside plastic shopping bags and cardboard boxes. The torso was found in a storage tote, and it had numerous rigid cuts at the site where the head was removed. Also located in the tote was a carving knife and several internal organs. The medical examiner determined that the head and neck area had marks that were consistent with strangulation and that the decapitation happened right after. The examiner also noted that there were some parts of the body missing.
On my inventory, I believe I was missing the right thigh, specifically from about the waist to about the knee. I believe that I was missing as well I was also missing the left thigh and left leg.
The victim was identified as 24-year-old Shad Thyrion. According to his online obituary, Shad Thyrion was born on September 7, 1997 in Green Bay, Wisconsin, to Tara Pankinich and Michael Thyrion. He attended Howard Sumiko schools as a child and later worked with his father and grandfather at their family business. His friends and family described him as a very kind and compassionate person who often thought of others before himself. He was a talented artist and enjoyed wood carving. He also enjoyed camping, games, and spending time with family. So who would want to hurt him in such a gruesome way? Investigators began by interviewing Shad's mother, Tara, who had made the 911 call. She told them that she was woken up between 2:30 and 3 a.m. by a door slamming. She went to the basement to check whether her son was there but could not find him. As she was going up the stairs, she noticed a bucket with a towel covering the top. She didn't understand what it was doing there and decided to check inside. That's when she made the disturbing discovery.
You kind of came upon the bucket, it happenstance kind of, right?
Right.
So then you took the towel off?
I did.
And how long did you look in the bucket?
See, that
Seconds?
I don't know. Seconds, probably.
Okay. Did you put the towel back then?
And I put the towel back, yeah.
Tara said that the last time she saw her son alive was on Monday, February 21st, 2022 at around 9:30 p.m. Her son's girlfriend, 24-year-old Taylor Schabusiness, had come to pick him up in a van. Now, here is the interesting thing about Taylor. She was already married and having a baby. She and her husband, Warren Shabau, who uses the name Schabusiness on Facebook, got married in February 2020. Then in November 2021, Taylor shares photos of an infant on Facebook and wrote, "Happy Thanksgiving from my family to yours." But it seems like things were not going well in her marriage because in January 2022, she wrote this on Facebook: "I got hitched to show them my commitment, loyalty, and dedication to them. That I was never gonna be how I used to be. They turn around and F on me. There's no way I'll ever get into another relationship. Hashtag can't trust no one." That same month, she wrote, "Double-crossed my loyalty. That's one thing you'll never get back. Let's play." These posts have since been removed, and while we might not know what was going on, it seems that it was enough for her to start an affair with Shad, though some reports say that the two knew each other since high school and had been hooking up on and off since then. Shad's mother, Tara, told the detectives that after Taylor picked her son up on Monday evening, she didn't see him again, although she heard voices the next morning coming from the basement and assumed that it was her son and Taylor. She had also seen Taylor's van outside as she was going to work. After talking to Tara, police went to Taylor's apartment to see if they would find her there. They saw her van parked outside the apartment complex and approached to see what was inside. As they were peeking through the windows, they were interrupted by Taylor. Here's the body cam video of the arrest.
Hi, Taylor, how's it going? Officer Russell with the Green Bay Police Department. Just make sure you ain't got nothing on you here. Good Taylor. Taylor, you have one more here. You have one more here. Just put your hands behind your back, please. Anything else in your pocket? You got blood on your hands here. Blood on your hands. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to.
During the arrest, officers noted that she had a cut on her thumb and smeared blood on her clothes and hands. She also had lots of scratches on her arm, which she claimed were self-inflicted. Taylor seemed calm and unbothered during the arrest and was even seen smiling at one time.
Nobody's armed? Nobody's armed. You sure? I'm sure.
When officers asked if she knew why they were there, she reportedly responded by saying, because of the warrant for my arrest. Taylor was then taken to the police station for questioning, but nothing would have prepared the police for the graphic details they were about to hear.
Do you know Shad? And how do you know Shad?
He's my ex.
Your ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they found a kind of disturbing stuff at the house there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of blood. Basically Shad's head. Yeah, pretty fucked up. And then, so we know you were there at one point.
Yeah.
With Shad.
Yeah.
We also know you left.
Taylor was quick to admit to the crime, telling officers shocking details of everything that happened leading up to Shad's murder. She admitted that she picked Shad up from his home on the evening of February 21st. The two then met up with a friend and went to an apartment on Eastman Avenue to smoke cannabis. She then said that after the friend left, she and Shad did other hard substances, including meth and trazodone, which is a strong antidepressant. They then returned to Shad's mother's house. Tara and her boyfriend were away at the time.
So you and Shad went back to Shad's mom's house. How'd you get in? Did you see, was anybody home? What time do you think this was? Was anybody home? Did you encounter anybody? I understand his mom lives there.
Tara?
Tara.
I don't know. Is that the mom's name?
Yes.
Damn, I had. Yeah, I can't believe I left that.
Where's the body?
The body's there.
So at the apartment, the two went down to the basement and began engaging in amorous activities, the kinky kind.
I don't even know anymore. Like, it was weird. I was riding him like a donkey, okay? And then, like, I think so. I think that's what was happening. I was and I don't know.
Were you two being intimate?
It was getting there.
It was getting there. Okay. So will this be considered foreplay?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And then, I don't know. And then, I just didn't stop. I don't know why. I didn't stop.
She claimed that she and Shad would often use chains and choke each other during their intimate activities. The chains were linked and looked more like dog choke collars. She claimed that this time it was Shad's idea to use the chains.
You guys done something like this in the past?
Not like that.
Do you use manual strangulation during sex at all? Is Shad like that?
A manual strangulation? Yes.
He likes strangulation?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, he does. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you do too, or just him?
Both of us.
Taylor claimed that she blacked out during the activity and pulled the chains so hard, Shad started to cough up blood.
All right, so you're on the bed. The chain goes around his neck and you start choking him. And you just realized that he was going to die, or what?
I'm just like, I think I went a little too far because like I was blacking out while I was doing it, right? And then and then like I look at him, I'm like, shit, he's already purple. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I don't know if he's fucking.
She told the detectives she could feel Shad's heart beating as she pulled the chain, so she kept pulling and choking him harder, but Shad would not die.
But then, did you feel a need to try to help him? Stop choking him or get an ambulance? You didn't feel a need to do that?
I don't know why, I just it happened so fast.
So then after you realized he was no longer, he was dead, his face was purple, he said his blood was going out of his mouth. What'd you do?
Clean them up a little bit. And then, I just played with them like that.
After what she explained was 3 to 5 minutes, Shad eventually died, and she told detectives she actually enjoyed watching him die. She then asked detectives if they knew what it was like to love something so much that you kill it. What a complete sicko. And it gets worse. Even after Shad had died, she went on to do disgusting and sick things to his corpse for several hours.
So then you had sex with him?
Yes. And I had a dildo.
Okay.
And I played with him too.
What'd you do with the dildo?
And I just called him and hugged him.
What did you do with the dildo?
I put it in his mouth, put it in his ass. Put it back.
Taylor then went on to give graphic details of how she dismembered Shad's body the next morning using knives she had found at the house. She even said that a bread knife worked the best because of the serrated blade.
How did you dismember his body then?
Knives.
With what?
Knives.
Knives? More than one knife?
About 4.
Where'd you get those from?
Kitchen.
She said that she had positioned the body in the bed, removed the head over a bucket and a storage tote to contain the bodily fluid. She then dumped the red fluid down the basement shower drain and showered with some of it. How messed up is that? The detective then asked her what she did with Shad's body parts, and she said that she planned on bringing all of them to her van, but she did not because she got lazy.
Well, what did you do with the body parts?
Oh, they're in the house.
Somewhere?
They're like, yeah.
Basement, upstairs, downstairs?
In the basement. I was gonna bring them. And then, I know I forgot the head. I wanted the head.
Did you bring anything with you?
Yeah, it's in the van.
What?
It's in the van. It's, what is it? I don't know, a foot maybe.
The what?
I think it's a foot.
A foot in the van?
A leg maybe. I'm gonna bring it all in. And I'm like, man, this is messy. So then I just left it. I got lazy.
Okay.
I got lazy and that's what I did. So I'm like,
So there's going to be maybe a foot or a leg in the van. And then,
yeah.
what did you do with the head?
I forgot that was in the van, so yeah.
What did you do with the head?
The head, I put it in that bucket, that black bucket.
She then made a disturbing statement, saying that the police were going to have fun trying to find all of the organs. She concluded the interview with the police by saying that she didn't mean to kill Shad, but as she was choking him, she liked it, so she kept doing it. Police would later find some of the missing body parts, including a leg stuffed inside a crock pot box in her minivan.
I believe we recovered the right femur or leg bone of the thigh of the decedent. We also recovered a portion of left thigh, and we also recovered a portion of left leg from about the level of the knee to the ankle.
At this point, Taylor was charged with first-degree murder, mutilating a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault. Despite having confessed, she pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, and so the case had to go to trial. Now, if you thought Taylor would not be able to get into any more trouble after this, you're wrong.
Stop.
A judge has approved a lawyer's request to be withdrawn from the case after his client attacked him in court. Taylor Schabusiness was in court for a hearing when she attacked her defense attorney as he was sitting next to her. A court officer pulled her to the ground, but the defendant made it difficult for him to restrain her.
Clear the courtroom.
On top of facing serious murder charges, Taylor decided to add more to her plate. Apparently, she didn't like that her lawyer had asked for the trial date to be pushed back so experts could determine her competency to stand trial. Some people have speculated that she did this to sell the insanity defense. If this is true, then she failed miserably because a judge ruled that she was mentally competent to stand trial. The trial began on July 24th, 2023, with the jury being shown graphic photos and video of items found in Shad's mother's basement and Taylor's car. They also heard from several witnesses, including the responding officer at the scene.
You mentioned observing the bucket. I guess where in the basement was that located?
As you go down the stairs, if you turn to the immediate right, it was at the bottom of the stairs to the right.
Was it in pretty close proximity to the stairs?
Yes.
After you made that observation, what did you do?
After I pulled the towel off?
Yes.
I had Officer Plunky come downstairs and just verify we had in fact found a human head in the bucket.
A forensic psychologist testified that Taylor told her that she had a thing with Jeffrey Dahmer a year ago, even though Dahmer was murdered in prison by a fellow inmate in 1994. A detective also told the jury that they had found several disturbing searches about Jeffrey Dahmer on Taylor's computer, including Jeffrey Dahmer walking into court all sexy and Jeffrey Dahmer's butt. But the most damning evidence came from the medical examiner, who explained in graphic detail everything that Taylor did to Shad's body.
The skin, soft tissues, and muscle had been removed from the bone so that it was largely stripped down to the bone itself.
One thing I particularly noticed was for a serrated bread knife that the sharp pointed part of the knife were virtually ground down. Dulled, if you will.
The doctor explained that the way Shad's body was cut in half provided access to the inside of his chest, pelvis, and abdomen. And the sick killer took full advantage of that by doing something grim and bizarre. She actually stuffed the dead man's foot inside his chest. How messed up is that? But there's more. Taylor had also drained all the body fluid from Shad's body, and his remains were basically bloodless.
I have multiple sharp force trauma with multiple stab wounds, multiple punctures, multiple incised wounds of the skin, deep cuts within the muscles and tendons and soft tissue, deep cuts within the bone, but all of these cuts are non-hemorrhagic. In other words, there's no blood or bleeding associated with it.
The medical examiner was asked how long he believed the process took, and he said probably a few hours. As the doctor testified, Taylor was seen smiling and smirking, as if what she did was something to be proud of. She showed no remorse for her actions and was clearly not taking this seriously. Meanwhile, the defense argued that Taylor was not criminally responsible for her actions because she was suffering from untreated mental illness, including bipolar, which was made worse by the use of narcotics. He brought up Taylor's childhood, saying that it contributed to the crime she committed. Taylor had a troubled childhood. She was born in Chicago, but her family moved to Wisconsin when she was in 4th grade. Tragically, her mom died of cirrhosis and alcoholism when she was still very young, and her dad allegedly had hurt her throughout her childhood. She attended public schools until her senior year, where she was expelled for fighting with another student. While in 7th grade, Taylor started receiving mental health treatment for concentration and behavioral problems in school. Then she was prescribed with a mood stabilizer, an antidepressant, and an antipsychotic until she was 18, and she took herself off the medications. Taylor's dad, who is serving time in prison for hurting a child, was even brought in to testify on Taylor's defense. He said that he was always worried about Taylor's mental health because she suffered from hallucinations and wasn't in her right mind. He also claimed that Taylor was doing well until she was introduced to narcotics by her husband.
What was the drug?
No, meth, heroin, whatever else. I don't know.
Marijuana?
Yeah, I don't know. The kid was already doing that shit before, and just a loser, and he got my daughter involved in that.
By the way, at the time of this hearing, Taylor's husband was serving time in prison for narcotic-related charges, though he claimed that he was framed. A criminal complaint filed in 2020 gave insight into Taylor's narcotic problem. Police received reports of a woman seemingly under the influence of illegal substances who was knocking on people's doors and behaving strangely. Police arrived and found Taylor walking in the middle of the street, and when they asked her what was going on, she reportedly responded that she was not sure, and she was on a different planet right now. She then allegedly told the officers that she had just shot up and showed them the track marks on her arms. At some point, Taylor allegedly kicked at the officers when they tried to stop her from walking into oncoming traffic. She was later charged with battery of an officer and resisting arrest. This conviction meant that she was a repeat offender, which was considered in court. After 4 days of trial, the jury came back with a verdict. They were not convinced that Taylor's mental illness had anything to do with her actions.
Verdict seems to be in order, and I will read it as follows. Question 1. At the time the crimes were committed, did the defendant have a mental disease or mental defect? Answer, no. There's no answer then for question 2. It is dated this date, July 27, 2023, signed by the foreperson. There were no dissenting jurors.
Before the sentencing, Shad's family was given a chance to face their son's killer, and his uncle did not mince words while telling Taylor exactly what he thought of her.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you knew you had a problem, you know. You can't blame it on childhood. You know, there's help out there. And if you take the path to go get the help, you wouldn't be in this situation right now. None of us would be in this situation. But to take the cowardly path that you did and to make other people suffer because you were suffering is pretty shitty. So that name Taylor Schabusiness fits you well. Now, I'm not a praying man, but after Judge Walsh here sentences today, I will pray that you meet the same fate as your idolistic Jeffrey Dahmer. So have a good life, Schabusiness.
In the end, the judge sentenced Taylor to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
At this time, given all the factors that I have to consider, it's the decision of this court and the judgment of the law that Ms. Schabusiness be sentenced as follows. As to in 22 CF 363, count 1, that's the first degree intentional homicide as a repeater. It's a Class A felony. Going to impose life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision. I believe that's appropriate in light of the findings that I've already made.
What do you think about what Taylor did? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button.